So, ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
So
Hi.
pleased to have you today for an interview. And you have an exciting project launching on the 1st of July.
Yes.
And we are here to talk about your new project. So, can you tell me about your new company?
Absolutely. So for everyone, I'm Sabrina Myers,
I'm Michelle Patel.
and we are launching our own social media creative agency called Two Social Media Chicks.
That's us.
That's us. So basically, I guess the summary of it is that we are both event professionals.
We are
I'm all about content, and Michelle is all about
analytics.
and we have been growing and building and working and I guess hustling on social media for quite a while now.
Yeah, we've both built our own individual businesses, and we suddenly realised that actually our skills fit together and complement each other perfectly. We were constantly referencing each other. Like, I'd go to Sabrina and say, "What would you do on this project in terms of content?"
Yeah.
And then she'd come to me and say, "Well, what would you do in terms of like analytics? Like, what are your thoughts?" And we thought, well, actually,
We
maybe
can work
we
together.
should just work together.
So we decided to set up Two Social Media Chicks on the back of before we were kind of two event chicks.
We were two event chicks,
Yeah.
but global pandemic
And all, yeah. So, and that's when we realized that this is something that we always wanted to find a way to work together. And we found a way to combine our passions and our expertise.
And what makes you stand out? It's a crowded market.
It is a crowded market. What makes us stand out, Michelle?
us, of
Us.
course.
There is truth to that. I think the fact that we are both event professionals.
Yeah.
We've done the logistics side of it. We still do the logistics side of it. We freelance. We run projects, event projects. But also that we're both very, very active ourselves on social media. And we can get into the heads of what clients like ourselves, like buyers, hosted buyers, event planners,
Yeah.
professionals, want, and also we can get into the into the brains of suppliers. You know, hotels, destinations, DMCs. You know, what do they want to sell to us? Because I've kind of been on both sides of the coin because I used to work in hospitality sales. So I always had to sell a portfolio of hotels or a hotel itself. Michelle used to work for a venue, selling venue space.
Yeah, venue
standalone
space, and
venue.
I also, I started way back in hotel sales.
See? Exactly.
But I think the key point to what we're doing is that we're actually not trying to compete with the larger creative agencies.
No.
We are two people. We want to create that those personal relationships with our clients. We want to be accessible to our clients, and we want to understand them, and for them to have a good relationship with us where they can explain what they want to achieve. We can understand that. It's a very kind of personal relationship that we're looking to build with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Sabrina, I had the pleasure of working with you last week because I hosted the Event Profstock Digital Festival, and Sabrina, she was responsible for hosting the TikTok challenge as part of the digital festival. And we had 5 daily challenges where event professionals had to follow and create content for TikTok.
That's right.
And you led this challenge, you created the challenges, and you gave the guidelines and the briefing and supported with the instructions. So I had a very successful collaboration with you.
Absolutely. It was very
on this
successful.
occasion, yeah, and everyone came up with incredible TikToks. So definitely inspiring. And so you also had the opportunity to get involved in the digital festival and also see other areas of the festival, which included an Instagram bootcamp, Digital Explorer Challenge for the wellness, and all the sessions there that took place on Instagram Live.
Absolutely.
And Twitter chat. So maybe now it's also my opportunity to ask you for expert advice. What can we do better for next year to grow the Event Profstock Digital Festival?
Very exciting. Well, you know, I think it was something that's never been done before. So this year it was a real, I think, experiment in all senses of the word. It was an experiment to see how many event professionals are actually in the world of social media, and how many of them are going to engage with it, and how many of them are going to take the time aside to even create a TikTok, let alone, be part of challenges. But I think what I learned from that experience and creating this TikTok challenge was that people love a challenge. Yeah, people love a challenge.
To be accountable as well.
To be accountable. And people, or event profs in general, we love a challenge. We love, taking on a project and delivering something, unique and authentic. And I think, in terms of engaging with our community, that's the kind of stuff that we need to level up on for the next digital festival. I'm talking about, and hopefully next year in 2021, we can bring a real hybrid, feel to the digital festival. Even though it's digital, which we will keep a lot of it digital because of the Twitter chats and the IG lives and whatever platform is going to go. Maybe by then we can even go TikTok live, or Facebook live, whatever the case is. We will have that digital element of it, but bring in, on the hybrid side, some real events, for example, with real challenges, where people can combine the tangible with the intangible. And have actual downloadable takeaways, which I think the templates were fantastic that were on Slack. And I think Slack was a fantastic tool. And I think it's just about leveling that up and actually coming up with merchandising for the digital festival. And and getting people really involved and becoming like brand ambassadors almost, Like, wouldn't it be amazing if this turns into becoming something like an actual Glastonbury or like a Coachella, but for social media.
We did the filters on the EG Live, and you had like the butterflies, and I said, hey, it's like we are here on the digital Coachella.
Exactly. I think it's definitely something that's been tested and it's been successful, and I think people are really craving it. I felt like so many people engaging at so many higher levels. And I think, for next year, we really need to, in terms of leveling up, we need to really dig in and create like amazing challenges. Not just your simple, let's use TikTok and create them, because we've done that now. So it's leveling up that content and creating even more incredible challenges, but bringing it maybe even to a live environment. So that will be, that's kind of my vision. And hopefully we can actually do something like that perhaps in 2021, So that's what I would suggest.
Okay, so next year the Eventprof Talk Digital Festival will take place again.
Think Coachella, but for event profs.
And digital,
That sounds wild.
So So I love the idea of giving practical tips. So you gave me practical tips, and I know that a lot of my community is the convention bureaus.
Yes.
So what would you recommend to convention bureaus do on social media?
I want to let you lead with that.
I think irrespective of whether it's a convention bureau or a hospitality supplier or a venue or an event planner, my advice would always be the same. And the first thing is that you need to kind of get away from this outdated idea that success on social media is about likes and followers. It's absolutely not. It is about finding the audience that you want to attract and engaging with them in a good way, in a way which gives them an information about your product. We're not talking about direct sales, we're not talking about direct marketing, we're talking about exposure to your product and what it is that you're trying to promote. So the key thing is to understand your audience, understand who it is you want to engage with. Focus on that audience, even if it's smaller than what you were expecting or it's smaller than what you had in the past. It's the first tip is just, forget about likes, forget about followers. Look at how many people are commenting, look at how many people your posts are reaching, how many people are looking at your website, and kind of try to change their mindset and focus more on creating engaging content and engaging with the right people.
And have the right objectives in place. Because I think, it is understanding that people have this assumption of what they think social media is and what they think a social media campaign should be like. But every social media campaign is different, and the ones that are successful are the ones that treat it that way, that break the mold somehow. For example, there was during the quarantine period, and this is a very random example, but Heinz ketchup in Canada they realized that people were downloading jigsaw puzzles like crazy.
Yeah.
So they created their own jigsaw puzzle, which was like 3,000 pieces
Wow.
of ketchup. Like it's all 3,000 pieces of red, and they said, order it, and then show us that you've done it, you finished it, and they created a whole campaign around it.
Yeah.
And what does that have to do with ketchup? Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
But the PR buzz that it got and the exposure that it got, because it tapped into something people were doing, something that resonated with people. And that's the thing when we work with destination bureaus, we are able to, work with them to tap into what their clients are expecting to see, what they want to see. How do you engage an event planner like me, or a corporate event planner, or an association? Who are your target market, and how do they react to different content, and what kind of content?
Would you consider that now that we are, especially after last week and the weeks going forward, we are experimenting TikTok, would you be excited if a destination suddenly does a duet with you on a TikTok?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because to me it means
it means
they are embracing social media.
Yeah, absolutely. And they understand the power of social media, but also that they understand that social media is not just a way to promote your existing sales and marketing campaign. It's a different the different platforms have different engagement possibilities, and those engagement possibilities are not the way that you would traditionally market. And it means that they're embracing that. So I think that would be super.
And it's also showing me that they are willing to risk taking a chance.
Yeah.
They're willing to create sometimes even unedited, raw, authentic content that will probably engage me more than some completely edited 3-minute video of someone running through the Swiss Alps, which is completely irrelevant to me. I don't need to see an empty meeting
We're
room.
event planners, so we've seen it all already
we've
in
seen a lot.
reality.
We've seen a lot of
you
things.
see behind the scenes. We see behind the scenes in a venue. This is not news to us what actually happens. And I want to see that. I want to see the reality of them setting up for an event. I don't want to see this polished article, because that doesn't really help me.
And I also want to see myself represented in campaigns. By myself, I mean event planners. There are no event professionals in content. We see beautiful images of hotels, of venues, of edited, of suppliers talking about their venues and everything. But I don't see someone like me. All they have to do is interview 10 different event professionals in a creative way, and they speak my language, and I see them on the screen, and that's going to instantly resonate with me. But they're going to need someone to help them out with that idea.
I know 2 very good event planners.
And I know 2 social media chicks who can probably do that. So that's what I mean, it's representing event professionals on social media, and so that we are able to see ourselves on there.
Wait, scrap that bit about it not being direct marketing.
But and that's what resonates with us. That's what's going to stay with us and make it authentic. So, absolutely.
Good. And going then the other side to the event agencies, what would you recommend event agencies to do on social media to become more visible?
I think it's a similar kind of idea, and I think event agencies have the same problem as a lot of destinations have. Is you look at their Instagram feed, and I know that as an event planner myself, I've been guilty of this in the past. What we post is polished, and it's like, look at this amazing setup that we did for a gala dinner last night as it's finished. And I kind of think, do you know what, I want to see what happened before that. I want to see what that room looked like 2 hours before you set it up. I want to see what it looked like in the middle of that 45-minute turnaround. And I think it's about understanding that social media is about telling people stories. It's not about giving them a polished, finished article. You can do that in a printed publication. You can do that in an ad campaign. This is about creating content that people can relate to. And I think it's...
And I want to be able to see stories about people's experiences. Event planners, or if you're a corporate event planner or a independent, you hire an event agency for a reason. You hire them to solve a problem, which is organizing an event, right? So how can you give visual content on your social media profiles showing you solving that problem. Oh, I want to now create this event for 3,000 people, and clients always have like a huge list of things that they want out of an event, and as event planners we are just killing ourselves trying to deliver on this stuff, but if you can show that visually, like, okay, so the client wanted this, and this was our problem-solving journey, and then we ended up creating this.
Yeah.
To me, that means more than a before and after.
Yeah, true.
You know? Because
True,
I learned
that's a very
something
good
from
point,
it.
yeah.
I learned about the journey that they took and why this event agency
why
was
I'm
hired
going to
over
hire
some-
them. I'm going to hire them for their
Yeah.
expertise.
Yeah.
And I think one of the mistakes that actually a lot of agencies make is a lot of agencies, for example, on Instagram and on Twitter, follow other event agencies.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes back to that, well, what is that going to give you in terms of creating new business opportunities?
Yeah.
Because you're using social media to promote your business, but you're promoting it to people who do exactly the same thing as you.
Yeah.
So from an agency perspective, I think it's about, okay, so let's look at who you currently work with, who your current client base is.
Yeah.
Let's look at how you want to expand that client base, and let's find a target market for you, and then we focus on that target market.
Yeah.
It's no good being an agency with an Instagram account and then following 250 other event planners,
Yeah.
because that's creating no new leads for you.
Yeah.
That's
at all.
different if you want to create a network.
Yeah.
Or if you want to create a
Which
community.
is great,
Yeah.
and I think that a lot of people are doing that, and I think that's really positive for the industry. But as in terms of what we're looking to offer as services, this is about, okay, so how can we generate new inquiries for you? How can we generate business for you? And how can you use social media to generate that business?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's about helping the client find their unique, authentic voice.
Yeah.
Because every event that we design is different. You
Yeah.
know, everything we do is different, and everyone has that opportunity to document that
Yeah, documenting.
and put it in a way that's going to resonate not just with their existing clients but future clients.
With future clients, show them the problem solving, show them how they overcame that, and then another client just go, oh, actually, yeah, we had that problem, and they nailed it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Let's go to them.
yeah.
Exactly.
Excellent. So you are launching in 4 days.
Yes.
4 days, yeah,
Yeah.
you can find us online. We will be very active on Instagram next week.
Yes.
And we will have our website live
Yeah.
on the 1st of July.
Pressure on Michelle.
No pressure, no pressure. If nobody hears from me for a few days, I'm busy.
So across which platforms you want to connect?
So we will be very active on Instagram. Our Instagram handle is @2socialmediachicks. So hopefully follow us there. We will be active also on, I would say, LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
Because that's a sort of like the professional platform.
Yeah.
We're trying to kind of create a community where we can share insights and tips, not from only just from clients that we've worked with,
Yeah.
but
But also kind of coaching tips to help
coaching.
people generally with social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll have our website. We kind of don't want to, and that's actually kind of the advice that we would give our own clients, is you don't have to do every social media platform
Yeah.
to be on social media.
Of course.
And so in the beginning, we're going to focus that across Instagram and LinkedIn, and then we will see
Good.
where that takes us.
And we're not limiting ourselves just to the events industry, because I think events are a huge part of lifestyle.
Absolutely.
And I think it's always wonderful to have a range of clientele,
Yeah.
because you can use
Learn
what
from
you learn from other
cross-industry,
industry,
yeah, yeah.
cross
Yeah,
industry,
yeah.
and put it across, you know, to the event industry side of things. So I think that's super, super important to us, and hopefully, you know, not just with helping clients create collaborations and campaigns and manage social media, but also coaching is going to be a very
Yeah.
big part of what we do.
I think that's a very important
Yeah,
part.
because I guess a lot of agencies, they just want to learn and understand and then do it by themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of
Exactly.
people have their own in-house social media manager. They don't necessarily want a company to manage it
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
And it's about then being able to pass on our expertise to that person to enable them to have, you know, tips that they can use day to day in
Yeah.
managing their own social
Yeah.
media.
I'm very excited.
Thank you very
And
much. We're excited.
I
Yeah,
hope
we
that
can't
we'll
wait.
have the chance to collaborate on the next festival.
Absolutely.
And I wish you lots of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I will be looking forward then to hearing more from you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you very
Lisa.
much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
See you soon.